You know the feeling. You've been diligently stacking Bitcoin and are guardedly optimistic that your low time preference and your diligent investment strategy are going to pay off massively. But the question hanging in the air for most Bitcoiners is usually something like, okay, if I never sell my Bitcoin, how can I benefit from its appreciation without getting rid of it, without selling it? And how does this actually work? So in today's video, we're going to unpack the buy, borrow, die strategy. What is it? Who's it for? Who's it not for? And how to do it without completely getting wrecked, because that's really important. So by the end of the video, you'll know exactly how to execute it and know if and when this might work for you. So let's start by answering this first question. Okay, what is the buy, borrow, die strategy? So the Cliff Notes is that it originally derived from a real estate investment strategy that the uber wealthy have used to buy an asset, typically real estate, and allow that asset to appreciate in value, then borrow against a portion of that increase in value, which is a non-taxable event, which is why billionaires are, pay lower tax rate than most people in the middle class. And then upon death, the asset steps up as it's passed on to your heirs, and they're able to sell it tax-free. So it allows you to keep your asset, borrow against it tax-free, and allows it to appreciate throughout that entire process. But when it comes to this strategy, understanding what it is just the first step. Just as important as what it is why it's important. So it's important to understand this because you do not want to completely dismiss the potential benefits of the strategy. And I talk to a lot of clients and people are just a little bit freaked out about this, or maybe they're a little bit overzealous. So we want to address that as well. And you don't want to try to do it too early or without a solid understanding of both the benefits and pitfalls of getting it wrong, because that's an absolute reality. So just to back out, why we're doing what we're doing. So you're building a Bitcoin stack because you understand that fiat is a melting ice cube, like Seyfuddin Ammous says. It's a terrible store of value. It's increasingly globally irrelevant. And then it's the primary vehicle used to steal from you through inflation. So you get all that, right? But the tension is you don't want to sell it because capital gains tax of anywhere from 30 to 60%, loss of that future upside, that whole never sell narrative. A lot of us have been indoctrinated into that. And this is something that I've had to really stop and really think through as I've kind of rounded out my Bitcoin personal finance sort of skill set in this. And the good news is that buy, borrow, die gives you a way to completely avoid those negatives and set you up to win bigger than you've probably ever considered. But the truth is that you don't want to do it too early in your investment strategy. I see a lot of people trying to do that, or without the right understanding of how it all works, including some serious mistakes to avoid. And that's why it's pivotal to understand the two investment phases, which is what we're going to cover next. And speaking of this buy, borrow, die strategy, I cover topics like this in more depth regularly in my 3-sentence micro newsletter, which is aimed at millennials and Gen X trying to incorporate Bitcoin more deeply into their personal finances so they can get to financial independence in 10 years or less. It's all actionable, zero fluff. I'm not trying to waste anybody's time. If you're interested, just type micro in the comments if you want access to that. So the two phases of investing, it's important that you understand these because you're probably not ready just yet, okay? And number two, you need to understand how it works well before you're actually financially ready. So that's why it's good that even if you're not ready, that you start to understand this process. Most people don't know that there are two distinctive phases of investing, and so there's a lot of confusion. And if you try to do the second phase out of turn, it can lead to confusion, frustration, and even wrecking what you've worked so hard to build, or what you're working so hard to build. So the two phases of investing, and those of you guys that follow my channel, you've seen me cover this before, but you've got the capital growth phase, which is what most people are in, focusing on increasing your net worth, growing your overall nest egg. You're harnessing Bitcoin's compound annual growth rate. So you're investing in things like Bitcoin. You're investing in things like, certain types of growth ETFs, maybe some gold and some silver for some preservation, but you're trying to grow that overall nest egg. Then once you reach financial independence, like maybe you've set a financial independence number for $500,000 or $1 million or $10 million, whatever it is, then you can allocate part of your assets for generating income. So this is the phase that you move into, like, okay, I've reached my number. Now I need to turn this stack Bitcoin stack, other asset stack into your nuclear reactor. So this is where you're focusing on generating income while preserving your net worth, okay? But whether or not you've reached the income generation phase, you must understand the 3 buy, borrow, die thresholds, because you don't want to get it wrong and lose your Bitcoin. Even when you're ready for this, you got to walk into it very soberly with your eyes wide open. By the way, if you're getting value, I appreciate it if you smash that like button. Not doing so is actually illegal in 21 states. So when most people think about taking out a loan against their Bitcoin, they're thinking about collateralizing most or all of their stack. And this is precisely why you want to know these thresholds, so that you avoid that. And that automatically will reduce some of your anxiety. So it's important to understand these thresholds, because you never want to risk more than a certain, I would say, very small percentage of your Bitcoin. You also need to understand the concept of loan to value. And then loan maintenance is also a big part of the equation, because it's not like a George Foreman grill where you can just kind of set it and forget it. So if you don't adhere to these 3, you're naturally risking overexposing your portfolio, losing your Bitcoin stack, and doing what I call getting downturn wrecked if you're not managing your loan to value and also just monitoring your loan with your lender, okay? So these are the 3 non-negotiables. You never, number 1, you never want to post more than 10% of your overall Bitcoin stack as collateral for your loan. If you follow these, you're not going to get wrecked, okay? So an example would be, let's say you have 10 Bitcoin, which is amazing, and I'm super happy for you. So in that scenario, no matter what the value or the price of Bitcoin is, I would say you never want to risk more than 1% of that. And I know I can see it in the comments. People are going to be objecting to this. So yeah, anyway, the other piece of this is that you never want to have a loan to value of any more than 10 to 30%. Don't have time to go into loan to value. I've gone into that in other videos, and I'll go into it in other videos in the future as well. And then you want to monitor your loan and maintain your liquidity, because if the price of Bitcoin goes down, you want to know that price at which Bitcoin goes down to where you get margin called or liquidated. So you want to avoid that at all. So those are 3 non-negotiables. But even when you do this right, there's the huge question of loan payoff, which we'll cover next. And by the way, if you have questions about, sort of where you are in your journey, what you should do next, or you just want another set of eyes on your situation, I offer one-to-one 30-minute calls. Link is in the video description below for that. And for some context, if we're just meeting, I'm Brad, and I'm on a mission to empower millennials and Gen X to integrate Bitcoin more deeply into their personal finances so they can get to financial independence in 10 years or less. So we've answered the what and the when questions and talked about how the buy, borrow, die strategy works. So now you know exactly what it is. You know when it's the right time in your investment journey. You know how to do it without getting wrecked. So none of this is theory for you, right? You're totally equipped to crush it when you're ready. But once you're ready for the buy, borrow, die strategy, there's one huge question about how to pay off the loan that you need to be prepared for ahead of time. And this is actually my most frequently asked question about the buy, borrow, die strategy, and I cover it in this video here. So click over here and I'll see you there.